Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back again today with another one of its notorious episodes. And oh boy, we have a special one today. So, on today's episode, me and Past George are putting up a final on our Sit High and Gaze project, which means that we together scratch built a diorama for the Volkswagen Beetle Type 82E from CMK in 1/35 scale and kit number T35014. Now, what me and Past George did on this episode, we had this week off from work, so we had plenty of time to work on our project, and that's exactly what we did. We concentrated on creating a base from blue foam. I know that I could use another material, but I didn't wanna. I wanna practice myself with the usage of blue foam because I wanna master this material first before I move on to another one. That's the way I do things, apparently. So we create a small base that sells the story of Sit High and Gaze phrase. Now I don't wanna bore you any further. You guys know the drill. Grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, crack the mandatory cold one, and let's see what me and Past George created. Before we proceed to our video, guys, I want your attention for a little bit. This is not an ad. I am not sponsored from Dennis. He is a friend of my friends and I want to help him, and I want you guys to also grab stuff and material that are good. So here goes. A friend of mine, Rob, has a friend who is named Dennis, and Dennis has a site that he sells wonderful stuff. When I say wonderful stuff, he sells miniatures and he sells fantastic grass mats. If you don't know what a grass mat is, of course I'm gonna pop images from Dennis's work over here somewhere up the screen, so you know for what I am talking about. For guys like me that they don't know how to properly use a static grass applicator, or they don't want to use a static grass applicator, or they don't want to go into the hassle of creating a field, Dennis is your option, because this guy is awesome. He can create a grass field or flower field that is highly realistic, as you can see from the picture. So please guys, go and check him out, place an order. He is a friend of a friend, as I've said. This is not an ad, this is not a promotion. I just wanna help a friend out. You will find out a link to his site in the description below. Take your time, so please 5 minutes from your time to check him out and just order from him if you find his work fantastic, as I do. I will definitely order one day. Who knows, it's Christmas. So sorry for the thing. Let's move on though. Hi guys, welcome back to part 5 of our Beetle project, or aka Sit High and Gaze project. What are we going to do today? What's our program for today? You will ask, and I will tell you that we are going to start working on our diorama base. So, a quick recap what I have done in the previous episode for the guys that have missed it. I have painted and buttoned up the beetle, as you can see in front of you. Vehicle is 95% complete, and I am saying 95% because the last 5% of the build is going to be while the vehicle will be onto the diorama to integrate it with the whole scene. We don't want a vehicle that looks out of place on a diorama. So another recap. To refresh your memory a bit, what is this diorama all about? This diorama is a fan project, as I've said, hence the title, Sit High and Gaze. It is a Greek saying that we Greeks use when shit hits the fan, whenever everything goes wrong. So we usually say sit high and gaze. And I wanna recreate this phrase into this diorama, which means that this vehicle is going to go uphill on a mountain. The driver suddenly shit himself, so he gets out of the vehicle and he do his job on the top of the mountain. So he sits high and he gazes. Now, what is my plan for this video? My plan is, as I've said, to create a base. How I am approaching this? First of all, I have to figure out the diorama size and what is the best way to do it. None other than creating a paper template. So I have already done this off camera because I want to have stuff to show you guys. And this is the measurements I have came by out of my head, out of my mind, you know what I mean. I want to create a small scene, I don't want something massive. So what is exactly, what are you looking exactly in front of you? This thing is the road, gravel road, gravel, not mud, dirt road. And here is the mountain top. So things are going to be positioned like that. Beetle is of course on the road, probably on a slope, because I wanna give the illusion that we are climbing onto a mountain. And to do that in a small diorama like this, we need to give it height. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about it later. So this is driving up a slope. Imagine the slope. Parked in the side for a time being. Driver is out. This is going to be our mountain top. We're gonna try to fix a mountain top, and here we have our protagonist who is taking an action, and that's why it is a diorama and not a vignette, because this guy is taking an action. If he was standing still doing nothing, then it would be a vignette. But unfortunately, taking a seat means that you're gonna interact with your environment. So which means he's taking an action, which means it is a diorama. Now, I use paper templates to measure everything, because paper is cheap and you can, draw, redraw, erase, do whatever you can do without, without using supplies, and you can come up with a good template like this one. You can use it to cut your foam, your wood, whatever you are planning to do, and it is good. So I use the paper, take rough measurements with my eyes, you know. As I've said, I didn't want to create a big piece, neither a tiny one, and this is what I came up with. Now let's move forward. Okay, paper template is done. Now to translate this paper template to foam, because foam is the material that I am going to use. Boom, guys, I have pre-cutted the stuff and I am going to explain you everything. Now you may have the question, why such height? Because guys, that's the only way I can create the illusion of a mountain, which means that we need height, and that's the only way. So this is going to be our road. Vehicle is going to be like here, parked somewhere, not in a straight position. I'm going to explain later. And over here is gonna be our mountaintop with a guy doing his thing. Higher and higher. Oh my god, once again. So how I am going to do an even better illusion of mountain? We need to give the viewer the illusion that this little piece of land goes uphill. So over here I am going to give it an uphill, road. So I am going to cut it, and of course I'm gonna remove some material from here to depict that it is a turn that goes uphill, like so. And I am gonna also save the mountaintop, quote unquote. I'm gonna save it in order to look like a mountaintop, an artistic thing, at least an artistic, not a realistic mountaintop. And I also wanna create a path to help that guy go up there and do his job. This is my bare bones plan, and what's my thoughts on my next step, because I haven't thought of it so much. So I have planned up to this point as usual. So what I'm gonna do next, let's see. What I wanna do, what's the best course of action? Well, I am going to encase the whole thing, of course, in cardboard to create a strong solid base, and then I am going to glue the first two layers. Let's move things out of the way so you can see what I am talking about. Wobbly mode. I'm gonna glue the first two layers, and then I am going to work onto the third. I'm gonna create the illusion of a turn, and I also am going to create a slope, an uphill part of the road. I am thinking that if possible I'm gonna start working from the lower layer and moving upwards and see how it goes. I still don't have a solid plan, guys, and I know that I am looking like a clown right now, but believe me, it's not so easy as we wanna believe. Okay guys, first of all, don't mind the mess on my workbench. I will fix it, but I took the decision to take you to take you through the process of the base creation step by step. And also don't mind me losing my words because I am making them as I go. I am making my thoughts as I go. So let's start from the beginning. From what I did first, of course, and I framed the whole thing around. Don't mind it, some imperfections here and there. I'm gonna make them. Don't forget that we are still on the making process. We are trying to get the rough formations. So, if you remember, my plan was like that, to elevate it, but to make it more, to give you the illusion of a mountain side, we need to make this wall onto a rock formation. So what I did, I started working onto the rock formation. I lined the pieces correctly, of course, and I have noted left, right side and this side up in order for me to have a point of reference of how I am going to assemble the stuff together, because all this, what this is, it is a huge puzzle. And I have started creating the start of a rock wall formation over here. What I am using is my X-Acto blade to remove material and give it, give it a rough shape, and then I use a rock to give this rough shape texture. It makes me burst to laugh that we modelers use a rock to create a rock. I don't know how it happened, but I am thankful to the guy that had this idea. So here it is how it is looking. So we are starting to have the illusion of that I have cut a piece of mountain and placed it over here. Now what I'm gonna do, of course, and I am going to add another layer over here on top, and of course on that layer I am going to follow my rock formation, to follow the shape of the rocks that I have created, and when I do that, I'm gonna be back to show you exactly how it looks, and then I am going to add. Okay, mess is less right now, and that sounded like something a rapper would say. Anyway, I'm moving onwards. I have added the second layer, gave it rock texture over here, and also cutted the foam to depict an incline, going upwards. This will help us to create the illusion I am talking about. Now, what I need to do further on, of course, and I will need to glue these pieces together. Everything is separate right now, but this will come later. I will also need to get rid of the seam line and smooth the surface between those two connecting pieces, but this, as I said, will come later. What do I have to do right now? I'm gonna help you. Boom. There we have it. Now I have to give these 2 or 3 layers. I'm still debating on the layers, rock formation, and I will also need to create a path for the guy to be up here. So let me give you a quick look. This is going to be our diorama, guys. Vehicle parked, guy climbed up here to take a seat, so he sits high and gazes bombs away. Moving onwards with our dio, guys. So, what I have done, I have made the bulk of the dio. I have managed to almost finish the blue foam construction. You know, the blue foam carving and gluing, and you know the bulk of the whole thing. I was debating with masters. You know everybody. Well, masters know who masters are. So Mike did me a proposition to make a curve over here at this thing, and not have just a simple square. And I want to thank Mike for that. Hi Mike, thank you for that. He always helped me with diorama constructions. I do admire him because he thinks out of the box. I tend to get myself closed in a small square box in my mind, and sometimes I cannot think clearly. You know, I could not think like that. You know, make this thing a turn. You know, a curve to give it more visual interest, like this. So now let me remove the beetle to tell you exactly what I have done. So I have glued these two layers on top of the existing two. I have carved the slope over here, and I have made it a turn. I have also given these two layers the rock face texture, just by cutting random shapes on it with my blade, and then giving the rock texture with the rock as usual. I have also created a small path for the guy to come up here and throw his bombs. The path is 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, for a little bit of struggle over here, and there he is. So this is going to be our main construction. I have also used some wall filler to fill the gaps over here between the layers of foam. Also applied some wall filler on the sides, and now I am currently waiting for everything to dry so I can sand it and prime it, and then sand it again if I need to. Okay guys, another update. Everything is primed. Be wary when you use blue foam. You have to coat the whole thing with a medium like Mod Podge or anything similar, because if you use spray can rattle can primers like me, the rattle can primer has a solvent inside that can eat through your foam, and we are talking about some nasty effect. So in my case, I have coated the whole thing with you know, how can I tell it, with plaster for walls, you know, a putty for walls, masonry putty. I have thinned it down with water and coated the whole thing, and then I have primed it, and here it is how it looks. Okay, I know that we have some you know, not even coverage over here and over here, but I am going to fix that later. I did that on haste. Now what's my next step for the dio? Now that it is primed and it is almost ready to go, I wish anyway, now that it is primed, I wanna lay down some base coats, and I am talking about the gravel road, mud road, dirt road, whatever you wanna call it, and about the rock faces. Yeah, I know that you are looking a half dark blob right now, but believe me, this is not the final appearance of our diorama. As I've said, I have base coated the majority of the thing. I have also gave a dark, while I was at it, I have also paint the sides black because they won't be visible, and I don't care about them so much since this is not a show display kit. I don't care about the sides, just paint them black. I know that I could sand them down and make them smooth looking, but I am always bored to hell to do that, so that's why I never do it. One reason is that, and the second reason is that this is not going to be a thing that I am gonna run on a show. Mainly because I have no shows nearby, and because I am not interested on running any of my builds on a show, to be honest with you guys, because I am not so good. So let me break it down in pieces, and let's continue because I blabbered long enough. Rock faces. My choice was a dark gray base coat, because I am going to light them up with highlights, and I am going to go crazy with highlights. So in my case, it says that this is pearl gray. This is not pearl gray, it is a dark gray in my eyes. So acrylic paint, dollar store, you won't be able to find it the exact same paint, but go to your dollar store, you will be able to find acrylic paints like this. Now for the ground, here for the road and the top over here, I have used this one, which says maroon, tobacco maroon. Once again, the same store, same thing. I think that it looks quite convincing for dark brown, for dirt. Nothing will be visible. I just painted just in case something will be visible. I don't want it any primer gray to be showing through. That's why I am applying this. And for the sides, the non-visible area, and later for this one, I haven't painted this one yet because I need to handle my diorama black. Now I used these three colors for the time being for the base coats, because they are cheap and I don't care about the quantities. And now for the detail painting and for the rest of the stuff, I am going to convert either to enamel or my Vallejo paint rates that I usually use. Now I want to talk for another thing. I want to point out another thing. Probably some other YouTuber have shown it. I remember somebody else pointing it out first, but I cannot remember who it was. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was at the Lidl supermarket. I always go to shop there with my family, and I always stroll through the aisles with the tools and etc., because this is the most interesting thing when I go for grocery shopping. So over there I have found this paint brushes. It is a set of 3 paint brushes. I think that it costed me something like €10. I may be wrong, but somewhere there, 10 to €12. So it is a set of 3 brushes. The brushes look like this, and as you can see over here at the handle, they can hold water. And the cool thing about them is that if you push it, give it a bit time, you can see it drips water. So by using these paint brushes I can adjust the thinness, quote unquote, of an acrylic paint on the fly. I don't need to go to my water jar and add water, etc, etc, etc. It is quite helpful for me for doing base coats in dioramas, etc, etc, because I do them with brushes for the time being. So I find that I find them for that use excellent. I also use them for applying decals, you know, moisten the surface, apply the decal, and move the decal where it's supposed to go with this brush. So guys, if you can locate brush like this, go for them. They are a really, you know, inexpensive and useful tool. That's all that I wanted to point out. Here's a tip from me for the first time, I think. Now let's keep going with our topic. What I am going to do next? Don't know what I wanna do next. I may be aiming for let's think. Okay, I am going to do the dry brushing on the rock faces, and then I am probably going to apply the groundwork over here at the slope. So guys, another update on our base. I've been busy yesterday night, and here is what I have done. Before I start telling you exactly my steps, you have to be aware that the diorama looks a little bit dark for the time being, mainly because of the lighting I have in the room, and over here because it hasn't completely dried yet. Anyway, what I have done while I was away, I have painted the rock faces. I have added highlights, many layers of highlights. I have started with steel gray 71336, neutral gray 7992, and then I have mixed a little bit of dark sand 7847 into the neutral gray and applied that. And I have also done the last layer of highlights, a totally thin one, one that only for the more pronounced edges of the rocks with dark sand. After that, what I have done, I have applied PVA glue over here and on some edges over here, and then I have sprinkled dirt from my garden. This is the jar I have left. As you can see, I have squashed the dirt into powder consistency. I have applied it, and after that, over here I have a mix of PVA glue, glycerol, and water, just to break the surface tension of the glue, and I applied it on top. So right now, as you can see, it is rock hard. It needs a little bit more time to dry, but it is I can do some work onto it. Now, what's my next step, you may ask? I think that we need some vegetation. So guys, I decided to do another update before I apply static grass on top of here. because this may be a success or this may be a disaster, because as always I haven't, or as usual, I haven't mastered the static grass applicator yet, and I don't feel, so confident. It is a matter of, practicing with it. So I thought that this is a good time to do an update of how things are looking. Here it is, our bottom section, middle section and top section. Now I put some PVA in a jar, grabbed the sacrificial brass that I don't care so much, this one, a dollar store brass, because I am going to throw it away as soon as I finish with this one. So guys, don't use your good brushes for stuff like that. And my thoughts were to apply bushes and grass whenever it is needed. It is needed whenever I believe that bushes and grass will grow. I believe, from what I've seen, that bushes and grass grow in the rock faces, all over them, and they don't cover the majority of them. In some places they do, in other places they don't. They mainly grow in nooks and crevices of a rock. A small nook that can hold even a handful of dirt will be susceptible, sorry guys, to have some vegetation. So this is the principle in my mind for the time being, and this is the way I placed my grass tufts and vegetation in general. So I started over here. As you can see, in the crevices I sprinkled some grass and I have attached some bushes. I moved over here. Over here I have used this dry pasture from Diorama. This is something a friend sent me. Hey Rob, thank you once again. Rob tends to be the sponsor of my videos for the last few episodes, mainly because he sends me all that stuff, and fuck, I am so grateful. I cannot thank you enough, my friend. So he sent me this thing, and I think that since I am doing a dry scene on top of the mountain, things are cold and things are dry, so dry posture over here, all over the road, mainly in the middle, and some here and there to unify the whole thing. After that, I have used another product Rob sent me. This is this one, and I cannot tell you exactly what it is. It is scatter grass, but I don't know what this is, because this is in German, probably, I think, who knows. Anyway, this thing is covers the majority of our diorama. I have placed it, the static grass, I have placed it over here. It has cork inside, so cork rocks are placed all over the edges. And apart from that thing, I have also used two stuff that I bought and I wanted to try out, and I think that they work nicely. Give me a moment. Sorry for the interruption, guys. Where was I? I think that I was talking about the bushes. So in my previous purchase batch, I have purchased these two things. They are from Woodland Scenics. They are basically the same thing. They depict bushes. One is light green and one is olive green. I have another one, which is forest blend. I didn't use this one in this case, and I opted to buy them, to use them, to see how they look, and I am pretty happy. I am pretty happy. I am, 80% satisfied with their look. They are not perfect. They are not crappy either. Let me give you a closer look. Sorry for the wobbly mode, and that is it. I have also used this one, this little thing which I don't know how it is called. You can buy it in a baggie. Let me find that baggie because there is a mess on my workbench right now. Yeah, here it is. That's the thing. I don't know how it is called, guys. I found it on another site. Robs has sent me a batch as well, and I opted to buying it because I tend to buy stuff, vegetation stuff for dioramas, mainly because I am curious to see what's the material they are made from, and if I can replicate them with stuff I can find laying around at house or outside. This, the bushes are clean. Clearly, they are kitchen sponges. The stuff that we use to wash our dishes. They are painted, and if you have a coffee grinder or something, you can create your own. Now I know, whenever the baggies will finish, I will do my own stuff. So it is a win-win situation, if you ask me. Now I think that is enough for the lower part of the diorama. The only thing here, let me place the beetle, and I'm gonna show you. The only thing needed over here is to put some dust on the beetle wheels, and I think that it should be okay. I don't want to go overboard because I don't want the scenery to steal the viewer's eyes from the figure and the beetle. Now, what's left for me to do onto this thing? The only thing left for me to do, in my opinion, as always, is to apply some static grass over here. Now, in my previous attempts of applicating static grass, I failed because the static grass strands were long. So I went out and bought this one. This is again Woodland Scenics, dark green, static grass. It is 2 millimeters. So I believe that this time we are going to have a success because 2 millimeters grass is a short one, and I believe that my static grass applicator will work fine with this. Of course, and I am going to do it off camera. I am going to try to applicate some static grass over there, and I am so eager and anxious together. Well guys, final update on our sit high and gaze diorama. As you can see, I have managed to finish it. What I have done, let me describe you the final steps. I have applied 2 and 4 millimeters static grass over here. Application is a little bit better. I think that this time I should have left my static grass applicator. I should have given him more time to charge properly, to give it to let it more time in the socket, to have power, to give it power. But I am happy with the looks of it. It kinda looks like static grass. I can see strands. I can see strands of grass, it pointing upwards. Not all of them, but most of them are pointing upwards. So I am happy with it. Another thing that I have done is, of course, to paint the figure, paint the dude over here, who is our protagonist, who is the main reason of this diorama, who is the guy who sits high and gazes at the time being. And the final thing is to coat the base with dark paint all around. And that's all done, and the build is finished. Now, I want to talk about it. Before I go, I want to talk about it a little bit more. While I was doing all this process, while I was giving shape to the diorama, I thought that I could have changed something. What are those things that I would like to change? I would like to add protruding rocks over here. It is evenly cut. It is like somebody cut it with on purpose, which is not so realistic. Nothing in nature looks like somebody did it on purpose. So I would have added some rocks here onto this rock face protruding. And the other thing that I would like to change is, to give it a little bit more space. That's all. That's everything that I would like to change onto this diorama. But I am really happy with it. Don't get me wrong, guys. This was an awesome and relaxing build. It was something that I needed to do, to have a good and relaxing build in between other more serious and demanding builds. A few words about the Beetle. CMK kit is wonderful, and when I say it is wonderful, I don't mean that it is high end and detailed. It is really good for the reasons, like it has a good price to what it gives you. It goes together easily. The detail is not, it is apparent, and it is a kit that you can easily convert. Like you can update it with some stuff here and there, like I have done with the rear seats. It is not the perfect Beetle kit like the Rye-Field Models one, but it is a good kit, and it goes together wonderfully. You just need to be careful onto some spots. I am really happy with it. Would I recommend it to another modeler? Of course, and I would recommend it to another modeler, all the way from the beginner to the advanced one. You can work wonders if you are an advanced guy, and you can have a decent build if you are a beginner. You just need to be careful, like every other model. Okay, it is not a Tamiya, it does not click together, but you can have a decent outcome if you are careful. That was everything that I would like to say. And with all that said and done, I think that we have made it to the end of this episode and the series. On our next episode now, guys, we will probably choose our next project. At this time, I have no idea what I'm going to choose. We will see. I hope that you guys found the video and the series on our Beetle interesting and stick along for the next ones. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys that watched these videos. A special thank you to all my subscribers, old and new ones. You guys are the best and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. For the newcomers out there that encounter one of my videos for the first time, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Now, stay until the end, don't close the video for close-ups, and until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Demon signing out.